Hi, this is Chandra. This is Reloader version 2, a plugin for Substance 3D Painter. It helps you quickly load, reload, and auto-load your mesh maps. And here's a quick demonstration. Alright, how to install this plugin? Now once you've downloaded the script or the plugin, extract it somewhere and copy the Python script. Once you've copied it, go to Python menu here, click on Plugins folder, paste it inside the Plugins folder, and you're done. Now go back to Python menu, click on Reload Plugins folder, and enable our plugin from here. And if you see the window, great. If you don't, go to Window, Views, and click on our plugin. There we have it. Now we can dock it anywhere. So in this case, I'll dock it here. And now we can use it. Now let's see the usage. We have two modes, main and legacy. First, we're gonna look into the main mode, which is going to be our bread and butter. This method uses a specific name format for your textures. So let me pull up an example. So right now we have a cube with no mesh maps, and the name of texture set is default material. Here I have two textures. One is an ID map, one is an opacity map. So the naming format is, or the naming convention is texture set name and then the suffix for the mesh map name. And you can check that here, and you can even customize it if you want to. So for ambient occlusion, it's going to be _AO, right? And we need to look at _ID and _opacity for our maps. So that's what we have. Texture set name and then the suffix for mesh map. Great. Now we can copy the path, or you can browse it, and then we can click on search maps. It's gonna load all the maps and hit load maps. Now if we look into our ID map, it has been updated. Great. Now let's try again. I have another set here. Now my ID map is pink and my opacity map is white. So let's copy this, let's paste it here, and let's search. So you have to click on search every time you do this. You have to remember that. Now click on load maps. You just have to move the camera sometimes, otherwise it doesn't update. Great, that works. Lastly, we have the auto reload function here. So let's try that out. So I have a setup here. I will copy this folder path, paste it here, and search maps. Now let's enable this. So this is a toggle. Use this very cautiously. I will recommend not to use this in complex projects that are like having complex texture setups. So be careful, save your files before you use this. So right now I have a really simple project setup here. So I'm gonna enable this, and let's try to simulate the updation of our maps. So if we go here, copy these guys and replace our maps, that should technically mean we are updating these files, right? And let's see what happens. So again, if we move the camera, we can see that it has updated. Let's try again. This time let's try with these guys. Update it again. So that's auto reload. Awesome. Let's try the legacy mode now. The key differences between this one and the main mode are it does not let us use auto reload feature, and it does not allow us to load our maps for the first time. So for the first time, you're going to have to load them manually. So I'm going to drag them into their respective places. Come back to our plugin. And this time, this method, legacy method, will compare the names of the resources of the textures. So this one doesn't follow any specific naming rule. It just needs to match the name. So if the ID _map _test matches with some other file, it's going to replace it with that. So in this case, it will replace with this red file or red color texture. Let's try this out. Let's copy our file path or the directory path, click on list matches and click on reload. And that reloads our maps. Perfect. Let's have a look at the settings as well. Our first setting is file check interval in seconds, and by default it's set to 2 seconds. So if we have our auto reload feature on, it is going to look every 2 seconds if the file has been updated or not. Second one is extension filter. This one lets you target a specific file extension when you're using search maps or list matches. And if you don't have it enabled, it is going to pick randomly one of the extensions and use them. Third one is UV tile workflow. This is useful when your projects are set up with UV tiles. This current project is not set up with that, so I don't need to use it. But if you have it enabled, or if you have your project set up with UV tile workflow, then you must have it enabled so that it can look for files with sequence names. So something like .1001, .1002, and so on. Next one, custom map suffix. This one lets you adjust the suffix. So by default, it's _AO. You can set it to something like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever you want. And when you do that, you'll have to make sure that your file also has that as suffix. This is for main mode, by the way. So yeah, you can customize it a little bit. So let's say sometimes some baking software outputs position map with, let's say, PSN, right? So you can adjust it here, and that makes our work a lot more easier. So that's all the settings. That concludes this plugin. I hope you guys find it useful. Do check the README file. It contains all the useful information that you might need. And if you have any questions or find any bugs or issues with this plugin, do contact me on my social media or through my email address, and I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. Thank you.